Hello students, welcome to the online classes. Today we are going to study about the chapter in physics called motion in one dimension. Okay, okay. So in motion in one dimension we have the physical quantities. So physical quantities are of two types. We know the two types of physical quantities are scalars and vectors. Okay, so in scalars we have speed, and in vectors we have velocity. So before we go into the scalars and vectors, we will understand few basic topic related to the speed and velocity. Okay, so in scalar we have distance, in vector we have displacement. So vector sign is always represented by an arrow, but scalar sign is only having magnitude represented by a modulus or a certain value without direction, but the vector has only direction, like 5 meter per second north for speed. Okay, so before we get into these scalar and vector part, first understand the displacement and distance part. So the physical quantity of distance, here suppose you are going from school to home. Okay, so first you travel, there is a path, there are two paths. First you travel in 10 kilometers forward, right, and then 10 kilometers towards the south. First you travel 10 kilometers towards east and then 10 kilometers towards south. So that is the longest part you have taken. But suppose you have some extra path in shortcut where you can reach in less amount of time that has been taken previously. So the path that has been followed will be direct route. So for this you have studied the Pythagoras theorem yesterday. So you will have 10 square, because it is a right angle, plus 10 square under root, and this part is hypotenuse. Okay, so you get the answer, that is 10 root 2 kilometer. This 10 root 2 kilometer is the shortest path. Okay, so you can say, in other words, that displacement is the shortest path traveled by a person. This entire path is distance. This is also distance, but this is a shorter distance. Okay, also it has certain direction. For case 2, suppose you went from school to home and then back to school. Okay, so the distance will be the addition of the two part, that is 10 plus 10, 20 kilometer. But the displacement, I told you, it is a vector quantity. Okay, vector quantity. Distance is x. Here we have denoted distance with x and displacement with s. So distance is a vector quantity, and the vector quantity is always the sign. So for distance you don't add the direction. So suppose in x and y axis we have taken this direction positive, okay, and this direction negative. Okay, Okay, so the positive direction for displacement is 10 km forward and the negative direction is 10 km backward. Okay, so we have plus 10 minus 10 0 km. So whenever from where you have started you reach back there, the displacement is 0. Displacement is 0. So displacement can be 0 if you have traveled, if you have reached the same position, but distance is not 0. You have covered 10 km plus 10 km 20 km. So whenever you are standing somewhere and you have a ball, you throw it upward and it went 5 meter height and it came back to your hand, so it is plus 5 meter. Similarly you have calculated like the way you have calculated earlier, upward is positive and downward is negative, like left and right. So you have here upward direction positive and downward direction negative, so you have minus 5 meter so plus 5 minus 5, displacement when it came back to your hand is 0 and distance is 5 plus 5 10. Okay, I hope the part of distance and displacement is clear. Similarly case 3. Okay, here you have traveled 10 km plus 15 km, so the distance is 25. Okay, but carefully observe it that for displacement you have traveled 10 km forward minus 15 km backward, so the displacement is minus 5 km. Okay, so like these there are certain other cases in which there is an angles are taken, so we will study these in later part. Okay, so vector quantities which represent opposite directions of signs and change from positive to negative, and the scalar quantities usually is not a vector, it is a scalar. Frame of reference is valuable for any vectors. So whatever that is not change with directions with signs is a scalar quantity, that is direct value. So can you please tell me that the current that is flowing into your house, does it is a vector or a scalar quantity? Okay, so if you find these answers, kindly comment on the comment section. Till then, stay safe, stay indoor. Goodbye. In next class we will study about speed and velocity. See ya.